We're promoting structural reforms to modernize our economy and to make it more competitive.
The second structural reform we need to make is to improve the quality of medical information making its way to doctors and patients. We've seen that structural deficiencies allow some companies to shop for the regulator of their choice, and others, like hedge funds, to operate outside of the regulatory system altogether. We will take a focused and sustained effort to eradicate the structural inequalities in our communities. Structural inequalities that make it difficult for children of color to make a success of their lives, no matter how smart or how driven or how talented they are. We've got a structural deficit that threatens to leave our children a mountain of debt. Steps in the short term. We have an obligation to future generations to address our long-term structural deficits, which threaten to hobble our economy and leave our children and grandchildren with a mountain of debt. And that's why I asked Congress to restore the... We have to tackle structural problems, from education to energy, from our financial system to our healthcare system, from our trade imbalance to our fiscal imbalance, that didn't just lead to 2 years of recession, but a decade of economic insecurity for middle-class families. When I came into office in January of 2009, I was very clear at the time, even before we knew the severity of the recession that we would experience, that we have a structural deficit that is unsustainable, and that for our long-term growth and prosperity, we are going to have to get a handle on that.
And I think it was a mistake to go back to
I am convinced, ladies and gentlemen, that in 2011 we will be able to come up with the structural solutions that will enable us to settle, or at least to tackle, the world's imbalances and problems.
私有部门和公有部门。
It also means that there are structural reforms that we have to undergo to make ourselves more competitive in the world economy. So making sure that we have...
For example, do we need more stimulus? How much do we need? How many savings programs and cuts programs do we need? What structural programs do we need? I think that shows great openness, because we're all breaking a new...
A decade, in some cases longer. They're not going to be solved overnight. But we know what to do. The cost of health care and programs like Medicare and Medicaid. Keep in mind, we've already included a number of reforms.
At the same time, we have an ambitious agenda for growth based on far-reaching structural reforms.